Hello and welcome back to Higurashi, Minagoroshi. We're on chapter 12, Saturday. First recording session of the new year, because I'm recording this Friday. Um, yeah. Want to say thank you for Fawful for informing me that there is no more chapter break, so the whole next chapter is just one long one, and you're like, Aiden. 2 hour video incoming. No, actually, I will probably just not do that. Which is, I mean, if you think, mainly because I'm like kind of tired. I think I'm a little sleep deprived because it's only like 9 p.m. and I'm already feeling like I'm falling asleep. Probably because I had a rough sleep yesterday. I kept like sleeping in 2 hour intervals and I missed the New Year's countdown. So kind of a sad New Year's for me, but it's not bad, but the last couple episodes have been pretty short, so I will probably try to like reach an hour ish into this one, and then if I am like feeling great, my next session we'll kill it, we'll just finish it off. So because I assume it's like 2 to 3 hours. But yeah, anyways. uh, Last time, what happened? We, Keiichi and Rita talked. You know, Rita's kind of in a dilemma of if she should ask the club members to help, because this just asking them for help sort of risks their lives, which would also break one of her conditions of having a happy life with her friends. But then Keiichi shot back pretty nicely, said a bunch of Keiichi-esque stuff like, oh yeah, but what do you think we would feel if you died, and stuff like that. So we'll see what Rita does. I assume she will tell the club members, because you gotta tell the club members after Keiichi gives you that conversation. Also, it just is the best way of surviving instead of just acting your own. Again, I still think that Sonozaki's are probably her best bet, though. I don't know how well they will do, but especially with such short notice. So yeah, let's just get this started. See how it goes. Rika. When I woke up, the first things I saw were Satoko and the calendar. The first one to wake up is supposed to tear yesterday's date off the calendar. Sometimes we both tear the calendar by mistake so the day ends up 2 days ahead. Satoko likes to tear the calendar, and that makes her wake up early every morning. That would usually make me smile, but I felt devastated as soon as I saw the 22 on the calendar. It's going to happen today, June 22nd, the day I die.
おはようなのです。おはようございますですわよ、リカ。二人ともおはようです。二人？あらあら、まだ寝ぼけてるでございますの？みー、さとこの他にもこの部屋に住んでいる人がいますのですよ。その人にもおはようを言いましたのです。
Spooked face? There you go.
もう朝から怖がらせるのはなし
She
でござい
said
ますわよ。
spook. She knows.
これでさとこは今晩怖くて僕の手を握ってないと寝られないのです。
Sometimes I feel like Satoko can see Hanyu, and it's as if the three of us are living together. That would be a lot of fun. It was time to go to school, but my body felt heavy. Today, I was going to die. Knowing that, I didn't even feel like going to school. The more I've repeated the same life, the more precisely I can detect my day of death. I always die on the day I feel this way. No.
リカ、そろそろ学校に行きますわよ。僕は今日はお休みしますです。
Okay, so maybe Rita's not gonna tell the club members. Bad choice. We're doomed.
リカ、ケイチさんに聞きましたけど、何か悩み事があるって本当なんですか？
Stoko, it's your time to convince her.
あると言えばあるし、ないと言えばない
That'd
です。
be a nice twist after the phone call with Rita. Stoko's the one to get Rita to ask for help. What else is there left to do? Today's the day. It's too late now. But part of me still feels like doing something. I've been in this world only a few days. My emotions went up and down like a roller coaster. Sometimes I felt motivated to fight, and other times I felt desperate and gave up. Even though Keiichi and everyone else showed me such strength, I lacked the iron will to fight against my fate. The most confidence I ever felt was when the dice all came up such a fortunate coincidence that was just handed to me. I was hoping to gain the courage to fight against my fate, but here I am today, conceding to destiny. Keiichi told me that we can make a miracle happen if we work together, but there's something he didn't teach me. He didn't teach me how to believe in that. If I don't believe that I can make a miracle happen, I won't be able to make even a crack in the wall of fate. It seemed so simple, yet so difficult. I couldn't even decide whether I should be on the stage or stay off it and remain as a spectator. Thought we resolved ourselves and said we would be a stage actor this time during the third meeting with the consultation center, I think. I told Hanyu that I haven't decided what to do after this world is over. But that's the spectator's point of view. For the people on the stage, this world is the only one. For them, the end of the world means the end of their lives. That's why they do anything to change their fate. That's why they can make a miracle happen. I never worked hard enough because I knew that I could reset my life. I thought I was just one pathetic girl who couldn't change her own fate. That's why I ended up here again today. It's as if I slacked off on my summer homework and woke up on the last day of vacation with nothing completed. What should I do? Should I not work on my assignment knowing that I'm not going to make it on time anyway? Or should I do whatever I can even though I may still get in big trouble? Perhaps a miracle will happen. Perhaps the homework will be done overnight. Miracles don't happen to homework. I have to do homework on my own. Without effort, nothing will ever get done. Without effort, not even one question will be solved.
リカの好きなように過ごすといいと思いますのです。リカの大好きな窓際で甘いワインを飲むのもリカらしい過ごし方だと思いますのです。どうせ怒られるなら最後の一日も気ままに過ごそうという開き直りね。
For Hanyu, it's not about the homework, it's about the vacation itself. The vacation will be over no matter how much I want it to continue. In her eyes, it's pathetic for me to make a big deal out of not completing my homework, and contemplating whether I should still work on it or not. On top of that, I'm just saying that I might as well die if my vacation is going to be over. If I was in her situation, I'd be laughing hysterically. Keiichi told me to seek everyone's help in order to finish my homework. But I'm not taking that offer, not only because I don't want to cause them trouble, but also because I don't want the teacher to know that I got help from them. If I was going to have regrets, I should have worked on it from the beginning. If I had no intention of working on it, I should have just relaxed without stressing so much. If I didn't care about what other people thought, I should have asked for their help in the first place. Those are the three options I talked about with Hanyu yesterday. I didn't choose any of them. I've been living for over 100 years, but I still can't decide. It might sound a little mean, but I feel like there's not really much of a downside to asking your friends. Like, sure, they might die, and it might end up a failure, but you're gonna go to the next world anyways, so you might as well try. I guess it's bad because your friends die in this world, which sucks, as this world will continue on past July, and I'm sure everyone related to them would be pretty sad, but, you know, in a selfish Rika way, I think it's pretty worth to at least try it out and see what happens. My 100 years were wasted.
さとこ、僕は今日風邪をひいてしまったのでお休みしますです。
Man, felt like Rika was like so motivated to survive. Feels like she's throwing in the towel early again. Truly unlucky.
そうなんですの？体温計でお熱を測ります？今日はゆっくりさせてくださいです。知恵には僕は風邪で休むと伝えてほしいのですよ。リカ、本当に風邪なんですの？なんだか命を狙われてるような話をしているって圭一さんが言ってて、私本当に心配してますのよ。ありがとうです。もう行かないと遅刻しますですよ。
So Toto looked at the clock, then looked back at me again.
私は今すごく幸せですのよ。みんなと楽しく過ごせて、またリカと一緒に暮らせるようになってとても嬉しいんですの。だからリカがいなくなったら、私がどれだけ悲しい世界に生き続けなくちゃならないかよく考えてほしいでございますのよ。僕のいない世界。
Aww. Dude, that face hits hard. I mean, it's been shown a lot in this arc, but it's a pretty rare face. But it's a good face.
リカのいない世界なんてとても辛くて悲しい世界ですわ。
It's like a sad Satoto glare. Hey, it's what Teichi said, but with Satoto added to it. How can you say you're giving up now, Rika? I've never thought about that. I thought that the world ended when I died. I never thought about the world after my death. That was never my concern.
だからどうか自分をリカが思ってる以上に大事にしてほしいんですの。リカ一人の不幸じゃない。リカに悲しいことがあれば、私もそしてみんなも不幸になることを決して忘れないでくださいますですのよ。さとこ。リカ、今日はそっとしておきますけど、悩みがあるなら絶対に相談するんですのよ。仲間が悩んでいるのに自分を頼ってくれないこともまた悲しいんですから。
Satoto seemed like she wanted to say more, but she looked at the floor instead. I know what she's trying to say. I realize how selfishly I've been living. It was wrong for me to look at this world as a stage play. But it's too late. It's too late now. Satoto left the house in a hurry. Hanyu and I were left alone inside the house.
僕もお邪魔でしょうから、リカが呼ぶまで消えていますのです。気が利くのね。100年生きてもリカはリカです。100歳の仙人にはなれないのです。リカには年相応に悩んで考える時間があってもいいと思います。僕がリカに背伸びを敷いたこともあるかもしれませんのです。羽生は悪くないわ。私が勝手に天狗になってただけよ。
Also, just a random note. I just noticed like today when I was looking at my channel for 2 episodes ago, or the one they removed my thumbnail with Takano and Otanoji taking down Tomotaki. I wonder why. Was that too lewd for YouTube? Looked kind of lewd, I guess. Rip my thumbnails. This like past month or two has been my thumbnails have been being shot down, even though like I've literally in my whole YouTubing life, thumbnails were never shot down. It's like 2,999 thumbnails, one rants one, but to be fair, it's rants. It was kind of a spiced up thumbnail. That one I can accept, but that Takino and Tomotaki and Otonoki one is literally like nothing. It's literally nothing wrong with that one. So, but I'm too lazy because they'll probably just take it down again. So apparently it's bad. Whatever. Anyways, yes, I just remembered that, and now I'm cheesed. I'm gonna try to channel my anger to Rika, so she will now have the will to fight again. Take my energy, Rika.
僕とおしゃべりしたいときは呼んでくださいです。もう泣きつかないの？私がこの世界で終わりにするのを撤回してほしいって。リカは頑固な人ですから。言えば言うほど逆効果になりますのです。さすが付き合いが長いだけのことはあるわね。もうリカも悟っているようですから言います。今日です。悔いのない一日を。
I was trying to say like this might not be the day, but everyone's certain about it, so guess it's the day. Why don't we just like dig a hole and just hide underneath them? Think they would find us?
リカが何をしてもしなくても朝が来て夏休みが終わるようにこの世界も終わります。
Seems like Hanyu doesn't care about the future of the other residents of this world.
でもリカが望めば次の朝も訪れる。
It's probably where Rita got the attitude of not caring about it, to be honest.
それはまたしても今年の6月かもしれないけれど、朝は朝。もっと小さい頃、毎日が退屈で、毎朝起きても同じ日が繰り返されてるんじゃないかって思ったことがある。それが本当になるだけのことだしね。今日を有意義に生きてくださいとだけ言いますのです。これ以上は僕は何も言いませんのです。多分今日だろうと思っていたけど、あんたにはっきりと言われると答えるわね。やっぱり終わるのね。今回も。
I skipped! I think. Maybe I didn't.
今回も終わりますのです。いつもと同じように。
Bam, 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 bam. Hanyu disappeared, and I went completely quiet inside the house. How should I spend my day? How should I end this day? Should I work on my homework, knowing that I'm not going to make it on time? I only have half a day left. I have to do my best. I should think about what I can do. This world is supposed to be a happy place. People are enjoying their lives. I should have enjoyed my life more too. I don't mean that I should have lived my life in blind optimism. It means I should have enjoyed my life by fully experiencing both happiness and sadness. If I did that, I wouldn't have been as worried about what to do after my death. I should have simply lived with all my might. When the time comes, it'll be over. That's a very important phrase. But it sounds meaningless when I say it, because I can repeat this meaningless life as many times as I wish. That scene. What are we planning? Ooh, we're going out. We're not going out. While Satoko was at school, I washed the dishes. Hanyu would usually stay with me when Satoko wasn't around, but she's not here right now. It's been a while since I was all by myself. I never thought anyone could feel so lonely while washing the dishes. I'm going to die today anyway. This world is ending today. Why should I wash these dishes? I don't know. That's because I'm thinking about Satoko, who will have to move on with their life after tomorrow. I will encounter a new Satoko in the next world. But I realized something after hearing what Satoko told me earlier. After I'm dead, I wonder how Satoko will move on with her life. The worlds that I've left in the past all went on without me. I wonder if Satoko will be able to cook without me. I wonder if she can go shopping on her own. I wonder if she can wash her clothes by herself. I've been avoiding thinking about this, but Satoko and my other friends must have been overcome by sadness. It's too late for me to think about this, but I started feeling like I want to cry. I'm feeling like this because I don't want to leave this world. This is the world that I've always wanted. It's my hope that I can continue to live in this world beyond 1983. After a long journey, I finally ended up in this world. But I was able to truly live in this ideal world for only one night. The night of the Watanashi. This world will be shattered again if I die tonight. We finally saved Satoko, and all our friends assume that our happy life has returned. However, I'm going to die tonight. They will mourn for me. We've worked so hard to make a miracle happen, but they're going to lose their happy world in just one day. Am I going to start a new life in the next world as if nothing happened? I lived 3 days in my new world, but 3 sad days were going to pass in this world. That's no good. I can't think straight anymore. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing from my eyes. I hugged Satoko's pillow and cried. I could smell her scent. After I die, Satoko will probably hug my pillow and cry just like this. Is everyone else going to cry for me too? I'm sure they will. And they'll be sad. Not about my death. They'll be sad not because I'm dead, but because I never told them about what was troubling me so much. I wonder if they're going to feel regret. Will they wonder what they could have done to open my heart? What they could have done to help me in my time of trouble? Will they wonder what they could have done to save me? I felt miserable and frustrated. I held Satoko's pillow and continued to cry. And the next moment, I heard the phone ringing. I tried to ignore it, but it wouldn't stop ringing. I picked up the phone, hoping that my friends would call to check on me. However, I heard a weird guy's voice coming from the receiver. Yurie? Oishi? Akasaka? Random guy? Who's this? Uh-oh. Not good. It was Okonogi from the Mountain Dogs. It was the first time I had received a phone call from him. Oh no. It's bad because Rika, well, we don't know how Rika died in Anotatashi, but in the worlds where we saw her die, which was only one, just Higurashi, her corpse is right on the temple. I guess it can change, it doesn't matter, but she might just die now. I'm not alright, this is the day I die. I knew he had no idea, but I still couldn't help but feel upset. I think he might have an idea. I had no idea what made him say that. He was glad I was sick. Oh no. Train! Did close my window.
いえ、実はあなたの命が狙われている可能性があるっちゅう連絡が入ってきたんです。
それはどういうことなのですか？
この度の富武氏たちの事件なんですが、
You're full of shit.
東京の調査の結果、入江所長が黒幕である可能性が高いっちゅう連絡が入ってきました。
入江が黒幕？
This is the first time I've heard something like this. This isn't something that happens at random, it's the very first time. That means it's not just a coincidence. I'm hearing this now because something I did differently in this world. Which is her telling Takano that she knew the exact way they would die. Oh man. Come on, Rita, who do you trust more, Irie or Otonodi? I think last chapter, or last session, or the session before, we literally just had like a really big thing where Rita's like, oh, I trust in Irie, he really is a good person or something. I don't know. I forgot the specifics, but I thought we had that speech recently or something. The monologue. I've done many different things in this world, though. I can't tell which decision led me to this result. However, maybe this is something that could change my life drastically. Okanoti continued to explain to me. There had been budget cuts to their research, and they were scheduled to be shut down within a few years. Irie was strongly against that because he was embezzling their research money by requesting bigger and bigger budgets. Because they were going to cancel their research, he tried to sell the research data and make a lot of money off of it.
それは本当なのですか？
信じたくないでしょうが、事実ですんで。まあ、入江所長はどこか後ろめたそうなところがありましたんよ。たらんな感じでした。
My bad, Okanodi. I think I can say with certainty that Irie is not that type of person. Ooh, nice. Okay, good. So she probably knows this is a lie then. And she can home down on the mountain dogs being bad people. I've been around him for years, and as far as I know, he's not a bad guy. He doesn't even have the guts to be one. He pretends to be cold-hearted for the sake of his research, but he can't shake his regrets. He's simply a nice person. It's hard to believe that he's embezzling money from Tokyo. I'm starting to be suspicious of Takano, but she's actually a nice person too. She seemed mean at times, but she could also act as innocent as a child. However, I'm starting to suspect her because Okanodi told me that the body they found in Gifu might not be Takano's body. Okanodi works for Takano. That means I can't trust Okanodi. In other words, I can trust Irie because Okanodi is clearly trying to set him up. On the other hand, if Takano isn't guilty, I could be making a huge mistake. I don't know. It's hard to imagine it from her position since she actually... I mean, I guess it made sense kind of trusting Takano in her point of view again. I don't know. It has always seemed to me as though Tomotaki and Irie were good friends. If Tokyo had suspected that Irie was embezzling money from them, Tomotaki would have treated him far more coldly. Anyway, at the very least, Tomotaki of Tokyo didn't have such a bad impression of Irie. The Irie of the Irie Institution and Tomotaki of Tokyo were good friends. Tomotaki of Tokyo and Takano of Tokyo were good friends. Why are we putting these these titles? Takano of Tokyo and Okanodi of Tokyo were superior and subordinate. But Okanodi of Tokyo says that Tokyo is suspicious of Irie. This doesn't make sense. Everyone seems to be good friends at first glance, but the links don't connect from start to finish. Detective Rita? She's logicking it out. Irie thinks he had a positive relationship with Tokyo, but Tokyo is suspicious of Irie? That's just odd. The chain should be connected, but one of the links is twisted out of order. It's breaking the loop.
すでに東京が内定に着手してますんで、詳しいことはもうちょい待ってほしいそうです。また、入江はあなたを何らかの交渉の最後の切り札に使おうとしている可能性があるらしく、あなたに対する警護体制を本日よりさらに強化せよとの命令が来ました。それでご自宅にいられるんは都合がいいと言ったんですね。すでに古出神社の周辺は
20 mountain dogs.
20人体制で警護に入らせていただきました。もちろんご安心ください。
すごい警護体制なのです。その警護はいつまで続くのですか？
東京から解除の命令が来るまでずっとですね。今回の一件が解決するまでです。
That should have been good news for me, since today was the day I was supposed to die. This is exactly the kind of security I wanted. That's why I let Tatano into the ritual storehouse. However, I have a bad feeling about this. Tokyo should be my ally. But that arrangement is just like Irie's relationship with Tokyo. Everything seems in order from my end, but when you trace it the other way, it feels like something's off at some point. I have this uncomfortable feeling because I have a few uncertainties about Tokyo. Tokyo and Irie have strong ties, but they're suspicious of him? Is Irie actually a bad guy? Is Tatano still alive, and is she the one who killed Tomotachi? Those questions and more made me uncertain about accepting help from Tokyo. I thought of Tokyo as a single organization would move with a single intention. But in reality, they have multiple different intentions. In other words, there must be multiple... what's the word? I see it in the political section of the newspapers of all the time. Alright, factions. Are there two factions in Tokyo? One that wants to remain friendly with Irie, and the one that looks down on him. That would explain the irregularities I'm sensing. Maybe I've been talking to Oishi too much? If he hadn't told me that he was suspicious of Takano, would I have believed Otonogi without a doubt? Well, maybe not. Even without Oishi's theory, Otonogi still sounded very suspicious. Irie was loyal to his research on Hinamizawa syndrome. Tokyo understood this, so his relationship with Tomotachi wasn't particularly strained. Plus, Irie isn't the type of person who would commit embezzlement. He's a law-abiding citizen with a good moral character. Of course, he had some ambition as a researcher, but that only goes as far as common sense expects any researcher to. It's nothing like the criminal aspirations that would lead to major embezzlement. A great number of mountain dogs were going to be guarding me. This is what I've been waiting for in my previous lives. But for some reason I couldn't be happy about it. I couldn't help but feel depressed. If this house is like an empty birdcage, then they'd be the fox with feathers stuck to its face. I don't know if I can really trust the people who are protecting me. I tried to recall more about Otonogi. The mountain dogs have been protecting me for years. Otonogi proved his skills in many of my other lives. To them, I'm something of a special existence. If something happens to me, it would be a disaster. The Irie Institute is there to keep Hinamizawa syndrome under control, and the mountain dogs are there to protect me from evildoers. So why would they try to betray me now? I thought about it for a while, but I had no idea. I just know one thing for sure. I can't feel comfortable with the protection of the mountain dogs alone. I want someone other than Tokyo protecting me. But I bet such a person wouldn't believe me. Wait, what about Oishi? I've been keeping in touch with Oishi since the other day. He still thinks that my mysterious deaths that the mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa are all plotted by the village authorities. If he believes that, then he might believe my life is in danger. For him, I'm a special person with a lot of useful information. The mountain dogs hate the police, though. When I asked them to assassinate Satoto's uncle, they refused because he was being watched by the police. I would feel relieved that the police were guarding me along with the mountain dogs. That way, the dogs wouldn't be able to harm me even if they were working for an evil faction of Tokyo. Besides that, if my suspicions towards them turned out to be baseless, more protection couldn't hurt. I'm sure the double security will keep me safe. Yeah, I'm not commenting too much. I'm listening to Rika big braining it out. But yeah, I mean, Oishi's good, but it's like it's not much he can do, I feel. 20 mountain dogs around. I feel like even if Oishi came, he would like come alone or with like a guy or two. He wouldn't send like the whole squadron with him. And then the mountain dogs would probably know and just act quickly if they really needed to. So I don't really know the answer, I guess. Again, Sonozaki tired, but who knows? Let's see what Rika thinks about it. Leave it to her.
今日はおとなしくしていますです。
ええ、そうなさってくださるとうちらも助かりますんで。
There must be some sort of preparation for them to kill Rika, right? Because like in the other worlds, where Rika doesn't die in Maitashi and Watanagashi, like she's still killed, but the disaster doesn't happen. So I'm wondering what they actually need to do to set that whole thing up.
街へ繰り出して変なチンピラに喧嘩でも売られるとうちらも苦労します。
Good one.
根に持たれているのです。
では、そういうことです。風、お大事になさってください。
She seems friendly.
風の診察に
Obviously
診
not
療所に行
though.
ってはいけませんですか？
Rika, you'd really think they'll let you go to the clinic after telling you that Irie is planning on assassinating you?
万が一ということがありますんで、入江診療所には当分近寄らないでくだ
It's
さ
a
い。
very bold plan.
妙な注射でも打たれやすと大変ですかいね。
入江はそんなことしないです。
しないとうちらも思いたいですがね。その疑いが解けるまでちょいとしばらく慎重
Guess he
にして
did
ほ
just
し
say
い
that
忠
they
告点
suspect
安城ご理解をいただきたいんですわ。
that they suspect Irie, but Okanogi was pretty much saying it was Irie because he was like, oh yeah, I was always suspicious of him. It's kind of funny.
しゃもないのです。
おこのぎもいつの間にかすっかり地元言葉になりましたです。
Bro, that spooked me. I thought he was like right behind Rika and it would have been a jump scare. Listen
し
to
ない
that.
とうちらも思いたいですがね。その疑いが解けるまでちょいとしばらく慎重にしてほしいっちゅうこってん安城ご理解をいただきたいんですわ。すったらんしゃもないのです。
Dude, that scared me.
最初は普通の東京なまりだったです。
Jesus, okay. I think that was just there's a lot of those weird things where it sounds like they're on telephones when they're not and vice versa. That would have been freaking scary if Odinoki was right behind Rika, but I guess it doesn't work because it's not really cell phones.
直せと言われれば直せるつもりですがね。
But I mean, you saw their high-tech van.
地域に溶け込むのが仕事ですから。
I finished speaking with him. As soon as I hung up the phone, I opened my phone book and looked for the number to the Okonomiya Police Department. It was nearly noon. It felt like the pages of the phone book were sticking to my skin. I must have been in a hurry. I really don't want to die. I want to stay in this world. I don't want to leave this perfect world. I'm trying to do something because I don't want to die. I'm trying to live with all my might. I'm trying to enjoy my life. For the first time, I was spending my last day positively, without drinking wine until I was drunk. Oishi! Save me, Big O. You're my knight in shining armor.
お待たせしてすみませんでしたね。ちょいと今からお隣の県警に行ってこようとしてたところでした。
I mean, calling for Oishi is better than no one, by the way. I just wondered what he can actually do.
どうもあちらさん話が通らないんで、直に襟首を掴んでゆすってやろうと思いましたね。
県警、高野の死体のことですか？
ねえ、周りは勝手に納得して高野の死体に間違いないって繰り返すんですが、それで直接行って見てこようと。
Oishi, please come back.
死体が高野でないと分かれば話は一気に急展開しますからね。高野を重要参考人として手配できます。幸い向こうの柔道部とは交流がありますので、お隣の県警さんにも味方は大勢います。
It's a good plan. That would actually be super helpful if we weren't dying today, but unlucky, I guess.
ちょいとみっちり話し込んできますよ。
It looked like Oishi was proactively moving forward with the investigation. If that body really is Takano, and that would be sad for her, but it would give me a reason to trust the mountain gods. If that's not Takano, then it would tell me she's part of this whole incident. No matter what the result is, it would give me some kind of hint. But only if I'm still alive. But really, it's unfortunate. Oishi is leaving for Gifu. He can't be around to protect me.
大石、実は変な声の電話があったのです。知らない人でしたが、村人だと名乗りましたです。
匿名の電話ですか。続けてください。その電話は何と？
僕を殺そうとしている人たちがいると、早ければ今日にも決行すると言ってますです。
それは本当ですか。なるほど。それはありえない話じゃないな。
He always sounds so calm.
わかりました。私はもう出発しなければなりませんので行けませんが、警
Kumadai.
官を何人か行かせます。駐在にも連絡して、あなたの近辺を警戒するように伝えましょう。今日はご自宅ですよね。風邪か何かですか？家にいて戸締まりをしっかりしてください。すぐに警官を行かせます。
This is where Kumadai dies. That'd be hilarious. Well, not, but I like Kumadai. He's a good cop.
先方との約束の時間ギリギリですよ。
今ね、フルでリカから電話がありました。匿名の電話があり、彼女の命を誰かが狙っているらしいと警告してきたらしいって言うんです。
フルでリカオですか？どうして？村のマスコットじゃなかったんですか？
連続開始事件絡みで私と接触してたことに対する警告じゃないかと見てます。本当に殺すかどうかは疑わしいが、彼女も年頃の子供です。命を狙われていると聞かされたら穏やかにはいられないでしょう。
Bro, everything Oishi's been saying this whole chapter just makes him more and more innocent. It's actually insane. Is there actually a possibility that Oishi's not innocent at this point? Like, his character has been so fleshed out to like what we expected to be. Someone like super focused on solving the crimes and believes in every little thing. It's just like so good. It's like I honestly feel a little silly even sussing him at this point.
それにここで信頼を損ねると以後の関係にも支障をきたしますからね。2、3人でいいです。大至急行かせてください。
Multiply that by 10.
あと駐在さんにも連絡して、とりあえず彼女を安心させてあげてください。
了解っす。
Are we not getting Kumadai? We're doomed. Rika Furude might have some kind of hint regarding the mysterious deaths in Hinami's out. Okay, so this is... Oh, never mind. God damn it. It's third person. I was down to say that's the nail in the coffin if that was actually Owishi's POV, because you know Owishi's thinking that, and why would he have something to do with it if he wasn't, if he was literally thinking that? But like I said, as per usual, third person in Owishi POV, in Owishi scenes, I guess, instead of going into his POV to hide his thoughts. I can't help but suspect him, even though he's so clean in this arc. Cleanest he's ever been, to be honest.
私たちも現地の分からずやどもを締め落としたらすぐにひなみ座へ行きましょう。ちょいとハードな出張スケジュールになりましたよ。
こんなの楽勝っす。
At least they're happy. Hyped about it. Maybe not happy.
こちらひばり。
Skylark! Hey! Oh! Oh! Bidbrain, think. I don't remember, but I kind of remember. Because it is interesting. The idea that the Sonozakis did not kidnap the grandson was a thing. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I feel like, because Mion mentioned it in Sumi Horriboshi, and I was like, yeah, but they totally did. But like, deep in my mind, I was like, is there a possibility that they didn't? But, I mean, they did a very good job at concealing that fact, but I'm pretty sure one of the people's code names, like, at the very first scene of Himasabushi, there's, like, Nightingale and, like, Skylark. Nightingale was, like, the one I remember for sure. I'm not sure about Skylark. That's interesting. I mean, it made sense, because they'd hire the Mountain Dogs to do that, so, and I just delivered, oh, that's what happened. The Mountain Dogs delivered the guys to the Sonozakis, and then the Sonozakis were technically holding them hostage even though they didn't capture him. I think that's probably the most likely answer. Sorry, slight thing. Let me pause the video. Sorry about that. Behind my ear. The behind part of my ear was bleeding and I was like, am I dead? But it's all good now. Yeah, anyways, that's probably the answer, that the Mountain Dogs just dropped off the grandson. But we'll see. If they hit me with a Nightingale, I just would have confirmation, because I'm not too sure about Skylark. Though it did like ring the bell as soon as I saw it, so maybe.
駐在警官が境内に入りました。R 宅へ向かっています。
了解。引き続き監視されたし。
R と接触。警官を中に入れました。沖宮署に R から連絡があったようです。自身の身辺警護を依頼したと思われます。
うちらのことは喋ったんかいね。
命を狙われているとの匿名電話があったと言っています。
So they do have the phone tapped. Made sense.
作り話でしょう。また、それとは別に沖宮署から私服警官が数人派遣されるようです。
Okay, it's not bad. It's not a bad look for her, because they'll probably just assume she wants more protection.
なんねん。山犬だけじゃ信用できんって国会ね。
厄介ですね。監視体制にも支障が出ます。
まさか気づいたんじゃねえんかね。そんなわけはないとは思うが、全般に職質に注意しろと伝達。疑われたら意味ないね。
了解。
I'm sorry, Okanodi.
本部より全般、古出神社周辺に警察介入の動きあり。
Yeah, I do think that's right. Okay, another mystery solved inadvertently. I don't know if I ever vocalized that thought. I might have, though.
職質には特に注意されたし。今夜の決行
Wasn't a big thing
様子を
there.
見た方がよろしいのでは。
連絡はするが、三差はやるっちゅう言うだろうな。
Okay, maybe this will save her.
明朝に R の死亡が発覚して話
And she was supposed to be dead?
もうお膳立てが済んどるって話だ。警官に不審と思われとない。もし疑われたら、おとなしを引くこっちゃん。
Alright. I wish he had called the officers pretty quickly. The officer who was in the area arrived within 10 minutes after I spoke with him. He asked me what kind of phone call I received today. I decided to make up a whole story. It'd all be over if they checked my call history, but I'm sure Oishi won't bother doing anything like that. He thinks I'm worth protecting because I have information about the incidents in Hinamizawa. The policeman is one of the villagers, so I know him very well. More officers are coming here from the Okonomiya department. The officer told me to relax because he'd stay with me until then. Oishi must have thought I was frightened half to death after getting a threatening phone call. It's good. If they can escort us off the property, that would be great. Because I think we're boned if we try to leave. After about 30 minutes, 4 officers in plain clothes arrived at the shrine. The local officer returned to his police box.
状況は聞いています。神社周辺に我々が立ちますので、何かあったらすぐに呼んでください。
4v20. Well, what if Okanodi might have just been lying about the 20 guys? Kind of sounded like it was just Skylark.
あと、夕
But
方に
maybe
なった
not.
ら大石刑事がこっちに来ると言っていました。
Maybe it's just like the vanguard. If Oishi's here, maybe it can carry us. I don't actually know Oishi's combat specs. Actually, we do know. He beat the shit out of that, those kidnappers. He's pretty good. So maybe. I was relieved to learn that Oishi would be coming here.
どうかよろしくお願いしますです。
必ず一人がここの下にいますので。すみませんが、そのものにお手洗いだけは貸してもらってもよろしいですか？
Wonder what Satoko's kind of thing coming.
あと、緊急需要にそのものに合鍵を預からせることはできますか？
どうぞです。おトイレも貸しますです。
My house is on the second floor of a storage building. The fourth floor contains emergency supplies for the village. I'm happy to know that at least one police officer will be there for me. The officers confirmed their positions on the map of the shrine. One will be in the storage building and 2 more will walk around the shrine property. Also, 1 more officer will be standing in front of the stairs that leads to the shrine. Okay, I understand. Too bad they're not together because they can be picked off pretty easily, I feel. Sadly. This world's Oishi is certainly reliable. He's all pumped up, dude. In my other lives, Oishi tended to look at me as his enemy. However, in this world, he thinks I'm on his side. I'm sure it's because we all became friendly with him around the time he saved Satoko. It was unfortunate at the time, but perhaps the return of Satoko's uncle was a necessary event. If Okanodi was right about Irie, he wouldn't be able to come near me with 20 mountain dogs and 4 police officers protecting me. If Okanodi is the bad guy, they'd be discouraged from acting by the presence of the police. Not too different from giving garlic to a vampire. This is the best protection I've had in 100 years. Even so, am I still going to be killed tonight? I need to do whatever I can. I should struggle, as hard as possible. I won't give up. I won't even think about my next life. This is what enjoying life is all about. This is what living seriously is all about.
羽生いる？
Appear.
いますのですよ。どう思う？
We got the squad.
今回。確かに僕もこういう展開はあまり見た記憶がありませんのです。
Hanyu still not Rika, you wanna ask Hanyu to like scout?
今回はひょっとしてって思うことはやっぱり罪なのかしらね。僕は期待も失望もしませんです。ただ、
I mean,
あるがままに訪れる結果を眺めるのみです。
I guess Hanyu is standing firm on her just an observer role instead of an active player. Hanyu's still acting like a bystander. Yes, Rika. Exactly what I was thinking. I knew she was going to say something like that, but part of me was hoping she would say something more positive. Yeah. Okay, maybe we'll get into it a bit. I also feel disappointed, but like Rita says, I expect it by now. Upon hearing her say what she did, I felt a little disappointed and wondered why Hanyu refused to be anything but an onlooker. I always thought it was normal for her to be that way because she's a special existence. I also convinced myself I had to be an onlooker too since I was a similar being. However, I just can't let go of everything and become a bystander. I can't become like her. I can't stop hoping for a better life for Rika Furude. That hope was betrayed so many times, and my heart was crushed countless more. That's why I stopped expecting anything to turn out the way I wanted. So is Hanyu the same way?
I
mean, maybe. Huh. But I feel like this is the first time for Hanyu to also be doing this looping thing, so... I've only lived for 100 years, but I know how frightening it is to have high expectations. From what I know, she didn't hop between worlds, but like... I mean, I guess there's... The fact that she knows how to means that it could have been something she's done in the past. Hanyu should also be aware of that, since she's lived far longer than me. I've always thought that Hanyu was a special existence, but except for the fact that she's invisible, everything about us is the same. She has the same thoughts and feelings as everyone else, yet I still saw her as a special existence. That's why I just assumed that her mind worked in a different way.
僕は理科に比べて長く生きすぎましたのです。喜びより悲しみが後に残り、期待すれば裏切られる方が多いことを知りすぎてしまいました。
Yeah, or that, or just experience of life.
だからもう何が起こっても心を傷つけたいと思わないのです。だから今回の世界でも期待しないのね。私がひょっとするとこの運命から逃れられるかもしれないという期待を。羽生は私がどうせまた失意のうちに殺されると思ってる。そんなことは思ってないのです。
Hanyu looked uncomfortable. She had no doubts that I'd be killed again that night. That's what it means to not have hope. But she just can't own up to it because she doesn't want to hurt my feelings.
羽生も聡子と同じなのね。何かの幸運か誰かが助けて奇跡を起こしてくれるまで戦うことを恐れているだけ。
I skipped. My bad.
それを強さだと勘違いしている。つい最近までは
That's really
私もそうだったけどね。
It's a great way to put it, huh? Being patient isn't being strong or courageous. Hanyu looked down and bit her lip. She couldn't deny what I said.
あんたも何度も聞いてるはず。奇跡ってのはみんなで団結しないと起こせない。団結というのはつまり信じること。みんなで信じないと奇跡は起こせないのよ。
What I just said sounded as though I was blaming her for the miracle not happening. Maybe I was too harsh to her. I stayed quiet and Hanyu continued to let the floor shaking. Then she looked up at me and spoke. I noticed sadness but also a bit of anger in her eyes. Uh-oh.
触れることもできず、話すこともできない。見ているしかできない僕もそのみんなに含まれるのですか。理科にどんな顛末も見ていることしか許されなかった 僕の気持ちがわかるというのですか？
There's a slight severity in the tail end of Hanyu's speech. Except for me, she can't communicate with anyone in this world. She hates to be reminded of that.
ごめん。やめましょう。この流れは喧嘩になるわね。自分が殺されるまでの貴重な時間を。僕もリカと喧嘩をしたくはないのです。でもこれだけは言わせて。私とあなたは友人だと思ってる。だから友人の人生が乗るか反るかという時に期待しないとか、あるがままを受け入れるとか。
That's a good line. And I interrupted. But that's a good line. I like that.
そのことは謝りますのです。でも期待するかしないかは僕の心の中で好きにさせてくださいなのです。
She can be very stubborn sometimes. Hanyu seems weak on the outside, but she actually has a very strong moral code, one that she wouldn't bend for anything. She apologized to me, but she wasn't being honest. She still wasn't expecting anything good to come from this world. She still thinks I'm going to die pitifully. That's why she refuses to believe in miracles. I've been living with her long enough to read her mind. I felt bad for her in a sense. She's been living too long and lost all of her hope. Hanyu told me to tell her if anything else happened and soon disappeared. I'm sure she's still around. She's probably still watching me as if she's watching a TV show. The time of my death is slowly approaching. Will I be able to survive this time? It's been a long time since I've faced this fear without drinking wine. Hey, Fafu? Did you lie to me? No, I'm joking. I'm sure you just misremembered. That was good. I was actually going to end on the next sort of scene change, so. Okay, never mind. Chapter break. Don't worry, it lined up perfectly where I was going to stop anyways. Beautiful. Well, that was interesting. I actually really liked that session. We got a lot of what is happening there. The blurriness makes Mion look like an alien, but I like that. I especially liked her phone call with Otonodi, and she's just trying to logic everything else. And again, well, it's obvious for us, especially because they literally showed it's Takano. It made sense for her to trust Takano because she doesn't have that suspicion of everyone like I do, and I guess it's just a personality thing. So if you really believe someone was dying every year and you've never got this information about a corpse with its death time being out of sync or whatever, then I guess it made sense. Especially if you've talked with that person for like over 100 years over different worlds, you think you would get a very good sense of them. So I guess I would also be very hesitant to believe that someone I might have just cleared from being the culprit by talking to them for hundreds of years is possibly the culprit. So I'm glad she's thinking it out. Maybe she will end up getting the club involved. It's just kind of hard now to do because of the mountain gods like patrolling / observing her residence, and the police are here too. Like, my hope is maybe she can get Oishi and the police to escort her out, because it does seem that the mountain gods are a little sus or scared of being suspected by the police. I don't exactly know why. I guess because the Okinomiya police don't die, so if they catch wind of those people being the culprits and somehow that reaches Tokyo, then I'm sure some of the higher ups at Tokyo probably knows that that faction is the one responsible and would probably persecute them. So that's what they're trying to avoid. So yeah, it's actually a pretty tough spot for Rita. So I'm excited to see how how it works out for her. And now with the police, she can't really like call for the Sonozakis because that would be like suspicious too. And we know that that the mounted odds have her phone tapped, so it's rough. But Satoko's gonna come home too, so I wonder what that's gonna be like. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you next week. And then this is the last chapter, so we will be finishing up next week. So excited to see how it goes. Will Rita survive? You know, if I had to place a bet, I would say no, just because of the existence of the next chapter, and I feel like it won't be a meme, and Rita will be on full focus the whole arc. No wishy-washy Hanyu wait and see stuff. So, but I really do hope she does survive, and then the next arc will be kind of like the 8th arc of Umineko, and more of a meme arc. Not a meme arc makes it sound bad, but like a fun, I don't know, party arc. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.